Welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to start discussion on valves, valve classification, and we'll discuss so many useful facts related to valves. So in last section, we have completed our discussion on heat exchangers, and in this section, we'll discuss what is valve, what does a valve do, and classification of valves. This is the first video on valve section. So let us start with our discussion. So what is a valve? Any device that stops, starts, or changes the direction or magnitude of any fluid flow or its pressure, that is called valve. So what is its main function? It may stop or start, or it can change the direction or its magnitude. Okay, because of the diversity of types of systems, we have so many piping system in our oil and gas field, fluids and environment in which valves must operate. Okay, so you can have n number of permutation combination where different type of valves will be there. So we are having vast array of valves types that have been developed. Valve is a very important component in our piping section because it's cost up to 20 to 30% of the piping cost of a plant. The cost of a given type can vary depending on the type, size, and material of construction. Okay, but in most of the cases it consists of around 20 to 30% of the total piping cost. So selection of valve is extremely important to the economics as well as operation of the process plant. So that's why this valve is very important component which we need to understand so that we can implement our understanding into our piping designings. So what does a valve do? Okay, if we try to understand what is, we have already discussed what is valve, what it does, we need to understand. Valve has some of the following functions, like we have already discussed it in its definition: starting, stopping, and directing. This is the basic function. It can regulate, control, or throttling the flow. Okay, we'll discuss in detail each and every word because this is important to understand the function of the valve. Preventing backflow, this also is a very important thing which we will discuss in detail in coming sections. Relieving or regulating pressure, this is again a very important function of any valve. So we'll discuss all these functions in detail one by one in our coming videos and in this video also. So there are two basic principles based on which a valve works. Okay, by putting a stopper in a line. Okay, if we put a stopper in a line, it will obstruct the flow. It can affect the rotating impact and a sliding function. So obstructing, moving the stopper by direct thrust. If you see in this case, if we push, if we stop the flow, it is flowing like this, and we obstruct the flow, then it will stop. Okay, on the orifice sitting. So rotating, the stopper can be rotated in field, for example in ball valve, plug, and butterfly valves. The rotating impact will be there to stop the flow. Then sliding will be there in mostly gate valves. Stopper is slid across the face of the orifice sitting. Okay, so these are three of the principles based on which all these valves are functioning: obstructing, rotating, and sliding. Okay, so if you uh, list out all the types of valve, we can classify all the valves based on application into four categories: isolation valves, regulation valves, non-return valves, and special purpose valves. Okay, in isolation, what we are doing, we are isolating the flow. These are the valves which are commonly used in oil and gas, and these are the types: gate valve, ball valves, then plug valve, butterfly valves, and DBB valves. In regulation, globe valves, needle valves, butterfly valves. Butterfly is here and here also. Diaphragm valves, pinch valves, ball valves. Okay, again these are there. Then plug valve. Again it is under isolation as well as regulation. Non-return valves, swing type, lift check valve, dual plate, axial flow check valves. Non-slam, sampling valves, multiple valves. These all valves comes under special purpose valves. Okay, so this is the classification based on which all the valves can be categorized. Okay, now we'll discuss in further videos on each and every section. For example, in next video we'll discuss all the isolation valves, okay, in detail. Then in next part I'm dividing into four another parts where we'll discuss each and every part in detail. Okay, all the valves will be discussed in further sections. So what we have understood here, what is the definition, what a valve do, what is the function and principles, and how we are classifying the valves. In next part we are going to start our discussion on isolation valves. We'll cover gate valve, ball valve, then plug valve, and butterfly along with DBV, double block and bleed valves. Okay, so I'm sure next part will be a very interesting part. So see you in the next part.